We don't have what I'd call a permaculture food forest, but we're very inspired by permaculture. And this year we have been so excited to see what permaculture can actually provide, because we haven't been able to have a garden this year, and yet we still have a lot going on in the yard. We're about to move out of the yard and the house and transfer everything over to our new place. And before we start digging up and destroying everything that we've built over the last 6 years, I thought I'd give you a quick tour through the garden and kind of highlight some of the things that have really produced for us in like a permaculture way.
This is ultimate B-roll.
We thought we were gonna have a garden this spring. We had big plans for our yard, and then all of a sudden we decided to buy the new place. So early in the spring I planted a bunch of peas, and this was the first year that I tried growing this purple pea, and it was really fun. It has really beautiful blossoms, and the pods are really funky. This like bright purple that they are. It's been really nice to have this as a spring crop when we haven't really had very much else going on in the garden. We also have our fall planted garlic. We're really happy that this is ready when it is. We're probably gonna pull this up next week, and so we're gonna be able to crop it out before we lose the garden. Another thing that we ate a ton of this spring is our walking onions. What we normally do is we grab the bulbs when they produce this time of year, and we plant them, and then we eat them as green onions as they grow. So we ate a lot of this, and we also have a healthy crop to bring to our new place with us. One of the things that permaculture has really inspired with me is putting in perennial systems. These are things that you plant it once and then you just upkeep it, and every year it gives you more and more production. And one of the best ways of doing that is in a tree. We were super excited to get this peach tree into the yard last year, and it's pretty amazing. Like we actually do have ripe peaches, and it just no work, and it's such a great snack.
It's fine.
It's the only one not split. Hey, Sam. It's peach. You want some? You can have it.
Oh.
We can't talk about perennials without talking about our berry patches. This raspberry patch has produced more than it ever has. It's pretty much peaked. It definitely needs to get hacked back. It's starting to overgrow everything. But when there's enough berries that the kids can eat all the berries that they want, and then we still have enough to freeze some, it's hard to complain. Standing in the middle of a very healthy weed harvest, it looks like, but this is actually our greenhouse, and we got a huge crop out of here this spring. Not only did the greenhouse grow all of our starts, some of these things here that didn't get planted in, but we also had a ton of food coming out of here really early on in the season. We're very excited to take this with us. Doesn't really look like much is going on in the greenhouse anymore because everything started to go to seed, but we do actually still have a bunch of turnips in here. So this is still producing food for us that we can take to our new place.
Looks like we should be having turnips for every meal.
Even the weeds that we have in the garden right now are actually stuff that we'd gladly invite. Stuff like these sunflowers here are just things that are growing out of nowhere, but it's hard to complain about having sunflowers for weeds. This is the garden that we're actually taking with us. What's in here is a bunch of tomatoes and eggplants and peppers that we've potted into larger pots, and then they're just buried into the dirt so they can still be on our automatic irrigation system. So they're getting watered, they're getting taken care of, but we're gonna be able to dig them up and take them over next week too. We are going to be really sad to leave the systems that we've developed. The one thing about building one of these permaculture style food forest systems is it takes years to get established. So there's lots of stuff here that has been growing for 5 years, and it's just starting to really produce for us, like this wall of grapes, and we're going to be leaving before we actually get any harvest off of it, and we're also going to be starting back at year 0 in our new place. It's something that you can look forward to knowing what it produces, having experienced it here, but it's gonna be a hard wait. We love that we've turned our front yard into a productive space, but because of that, we don't want to leave all these things at the house when we go to sell it, because we know it's stuff that people won't appreciate. This is my herb garden right here, which is completely filled in. It's hard to tell what all is in here, and all of this is going to be coming with us. And we bought a few just basic landscape shrubs and plants that we're going to replace it with to beautify it while not leaving our good our good edible stuff behind. Almost everything that we have in the front yard here is an edible perennial. We have berries, we have our apricot tree, we have our herbs, we have perennial greens, we have walking onions, we have a huge mix of stuff in here. And this makes it so the front yard space actually produces a huge amount of food for us. This space really showed its potential to us this year. When we didn't have our massive vegetable garden producing, we still were able to come out here into our front yard, permaculture system and have stuff to pick always. It's gonna be really hard for us to leave this space behind. We've put a ton of effort, a ton of energy, a ton of thought into how we've designed and developed everything. This was kind of our baby. But leaving here, we're not leaving empty-handed. We have our plants that we're taking with us, but more importantly than that, we're taking with us the knowledge that we've gained working in this space. This was a tight space to work in, and we still produced a crazy amount of food. We're really excited to see what we can do getting into that bigger space. We know that you don't need a huge space to produce a lot of food for a family, but we're excited to see that when we have this huge space, if maybe we can produce, the amount that we've been producing in our tight space, but then across that 2 acres. It's gonna be a decade-long journey, but in the end, we hope we're gonna come out with a pretty amazing little piece of paradise. What do you have? More peas. Can you say more?
No.
More. These I don't think we're ready yet. See, look, they're just babies. You can still, but you can eat the outside. When they're babies, you can eat the outside. Here, just eat it like that. Well, look, they're just babies. Here, see, Sam? This is why you need lots. If you would like to see how everything goes on our new farm, make sure to subscribe and join our journey. And let us know below if you grow yourself, what kind of space you're growing in. We'll see you guys next time.
Love you.
You gonna get him to land on me? Oh, I got him.